Hey everyone, welcome back. This is video number 7. So previously we were looking at the proportions of the human figure and how big they are in relation to one another. So what we're gonna do is we'll go through it again really quickly. So if you want, you can use your ruler. It's up to you. So what we can do is have it maybe 14 centimeters high, which will, for me, it'll fit in this. So I'll go ahead and rule that out so it fits nicely in the screen. Put it right in the center. So that'll be 14.5, sorry. Make it 15, sorry, 15. So that way one head is 2 centimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Okay, you can go ahead and rule the line straight through that. Probably might have been better if we had ruled the line first, but anyway. So there we go. So this is of course where we put the head. That's one head height. And then we saw if we split this into 3, this is where the shoulder comes. Okay. And if we took these measurements down, because the shoulders are about 2 heads wide. So right there, take this half, put it on this side. That's about how wide it is. And this line is where the nipples are. Okay, that's the line the nipples are on, which is the second head right there. Now the third head is where the navel is, or where what we call the belly button. Okay, so previously we said that this is the nipple line. So if you actually take the line from the shoulder to the belly button like that, you'll actually have the point where the nipples are, or where they sit. Some people, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Now, we were looking at where the bottom of the groin is, right there. So just above your navel, sorry, just below your navel is your waistline. So we'll have that the same width as your shoulders, or pretty close to it. And we'll give it like an underwear for now. Okay, so we're slowly refining the drawing a bit. So around about halfway on this head, which is the first, we'll actually number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Okay, so we're about halfway through the 6th head right there. Just sitting on top of it is where the knees go. You can have it coming right to the edge there, or you can have it sitting in the middle here. It's up to you. It really doesn't matter. We just want to know the proportions at the moment. Then we'll work on the shape later. Okay, you might be wondering why we're going through it again, but it's always good practice, you know. Even for seasoned professionals, they're always practicing the figure drawing. People working for Disney, people working for, you know, like illustrators, they're always doing things like figure drawing classes, and you know, they're trying to better themselves all the time. Okay, so just above the navel there is where the elbow is, and then just where the groin is where just above it we'll put the wrist. And the hand comes down about halfway down the thigh right there. So since it comes halfway down the thigh, your upper leg is actually twice the size of your hand, which, you know, makes sense. If this is half the thigh, then anyway. So that's the figure again. Now what I want to do is what we'll be doing is splitting this up. Now the human figure, if I just put a neck in there just like that, so we'll have these different parts, and I'll actually number them. So we'll have 1, which is the head, we'll have 2, which is the chest, and 3 is the arm, then 4 is the pelvis region, then number 5 is the leg. So those are the 5 different areas, or just the 5 parts that a human being is made up of. You can, if you want, you can go ahead and say the other arm is another number and this is another one. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 parts. And if you want, you can say the neck is number 8. That's up to you. So at the most, there's actually 8. Or if you want to separate the feet too, that's 10. But 10, learning how to draw 10 different parts of the body really isn't that complicated. So because it's only 10, once you start breaking it down into the individual bones, that's when things start to get crazy. So that's how you do it. Now what I want is to show you a few different ways of how people tackle the torso area, which is this middle area, number 2 and number 4. So in between, they're not including the arms, so that whole area in there, and how people tackle it and try to simplify it enough for them to be able to draw figures from the imagination. Okay, so the first way that I want to show you really quickly is a cartoony method, and it's more of a 3D method. I believe they've even named this figure, I think they call it Jim or something. So Jim is actually made up of 3 different, actually 2 different shapes. You have a cone and you have a sphere, and that's it. Those are the only 2 shapes it's made up of, and I'll show you really quickly. So you just cut the cone right there, and you have something that looks like that, right? And then you cut it again there, so you have another shape that looks something like this. Then you cut the sphere in half, so you have a shape that looks something like that. And basically that's the torso right there. And the good thing is you can turn this slightly and have it on an angle and still be able to draw it really easily, because you have those 3 basic shapes that you probably hopefully been practicing if you watch the previous videos. Okay, so that's just slightly turned and you're looking just slightly from above, and there you go. And that's it from a slight angle. So you can go ahead and practice this and just shade in this inner area just so you can give more dimension to the form, and try and twist it and turn it, and like I'll suggest doing an action line. That's what they call it. Do an action line, and then have the shape bending along that line. Okay, just like that. There you go. And just keep on practicing that. Do as many as you can, maybe 10, just to get used to it. And then when you're ready, you can jump to the next video, and we'll look at the next way of looking at how to draw the torso. Now the torso is also called the trunk, just so you know. The torso is called the trunk because out of this come the branches, which are the arms, the legs. Okay, arms, the legs, and the head. So practice this. This is actually one of the most important things, because your arms and your legs can keep changing in different positions, but your trunk they'll always follow where the trunk goes, where the torso goes. Okay, they can't move independently of this. So this is one of the most important parts, and out of this comes the arms and the legs, which I'll show you how to draw later. Okay, so see you in the next video.